Hello viewers, welcome to the class. Dear students, here is the introduction of myself and here is the introduction of our today's class. Class 10, Subject English First Paper, Unit 11, Renewable Energy, Lesson 3. Dear learners, look at the picture. There are two pictures for you. What do you see in the pictures and what are the relation between the pictures? That means first question for you, what do you see in them and what are the relation between the two pictures? You will have to write it in the comment box. I want to see it. Okay? Start to write. I hope you are writing in the comment box. Okay? Let's see. We see there are two pictures. In the first picture, we see some sources of renewable energy, and in the second picture we see it's a picture of green globe. That means in the first picture we see there are some sources of renewable energy, and second picture it is a green globe. And the relation between the two pictures is that if we uses different renewable energy sources, then we will be able to get a green globe, which is very essential for our survival on the earth. Okay, dear learners, can you tell me what is our today's lesson title? You have to write it in the comment box. I want to see it. Let's see. Our today's lesson is renewable energy sources. Our today's lesson is renewable energy sources. You are really brilliant. Okay? Learning outcomes. Dear learners, after completing this lesson, you will be able to read intensively and extensively, participate in debate discussion, write the answer of the questions, write formal letter. All these are the outcomes of this lesson. I hope you will enjoy the class and ensure all these learning outcomes. Dear learners, at first I want to share with you some new words of the passage, because without knowing these words it will be very difficult for you to give answers of the questions and understand the passage. So see the new words. First word, global. Please repeat with me. Global. Global. Here is a picture for the word global. It will help you to understand the meaning of the word global. The synonym of the word is worldwide, earthly, and antonym of the word is local. Global's antonym is local. For example, we can use the word global. Reliance on petroleum causes global warming. I am again repeating for you. Reliance on petroleum causes global warming. I hope you are able to find out the meaning of the word, and it's an adjective. It's an adjective. And finally, meaning of the word is relating to the whole world. Global means relating to the whole world. Another word, fossil. Repeat with me. Fossil. Fossil. Here is a picture for the word fossil. And its synonym is petrified remains. Petrified remains. For example, we can use the word fossil fuels are non-renewable sources of energy. For example, we can use fossil fuels are non-renewable sources of energy. Let's see its meaning. The petrified remains of a prehistoric plant or animal embedded in rock. I am again repeating for the fossil. The petrified remains of a prehistoric plant or animal embedded in rock. That is fossil. Geothermal. Geothermal. Here is a picture for the word geothermal. It will help you to understand the meaning of the word geothermal. And it's an adjective. For example, we can use the word geothermal. Geothermal energy can be used to produce electricity. Geothermal energy can be used to produce electricity. Let's see the meaning. Relating to or produced by the internal heat of the earth. Geothermal means relating to or produced by the internal heat of the earth. That means one kind of energy which is produced from the internal heat of the earth. That is geothermal energy. And renewable. Renewable. Repeat with me. Renewable. Here is an example picture for the word renewable. Its synonym is reusable. That means we can use something again and again. We can use the thing repeatedly. That is renewable, and that is replenishable. We can also say replenishable, renewed. That is renewable. Let's see. For example, we can use the word solar and turbine energy are the sources of renewable energy. Solar and turbine energy are the sources of renewable energy. Let's see its meaning. Capable of being renewed. Capable of being renewed. That is renewable. Next word, turbine. 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 Here is a picture for the word turbine, and it's a noun. For example, we can use the word turbine captures the wind energy. Turbine captures the wind energy. Let's see the meaning. An engine that has a part with blades. Turbine is an engine that has a part with blades that are caused to spin by pressure from water, steam, or air. That is turbine. Next word is evaporate. Evaporate. Repeat with me. Evaporate. Here is a picture for the word evaporate, and its synonym vaporize, vanish. We can use as synonym vaporize, vanish. For example, we can use the word the wind and the sun's heat cause water to evaporate. The wind and the sun's heat cause water to evaporate. Let's see its meaning. Turn from liquid into vapor, that is evaporate. Turn from liquid into vapor, that is evaporate. Next word, vapor. 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 Here is a picture for the word vapor. Synonym we can use steam, fog. As synonym we can use steam, fog. For example, the picture is the vapor is also a noun, and for example we can use when the water vapors, it again turns into rain or snow. When the water vapor, it again turns into rain or snow. Let's see its meaning. A liquid substance diffused in the air. Vapor means a liquid substance diffused in the air. That is vapor. Petroleum. Petroleum. Repeat with me. Petroleum. Here is a picture for the word petroleum. For its synonym, we can use fossil fuel or fuel. Fossil fuel or fuel. It's also a noun. Countries of the world are relying heavily on petroleum. For example, we can use the word petroleum. Countries of the world are relying heavily on petroleum. I hope you have understood the meaning of the word. Let's see. A kind of oil that comes from below the ground, which is the source of gasoline and other products. That means a kind of oil. Petroleum is a kind of oil that comes from the below of the earth, ground, which is the source of gasoline and other products. That is petroleum. You have understood the meaning of these new words. Now we have to read the text and understand the text. So stay with me and enjoy the class. Countries of the world rely heavily on petroleum, coal, and natural gas for their energy sources. There are a lot of countries in the earth, and most of the countries heavily depend on petroleum, coal, and natural gas for their energy sources, which is very essential to us. There are two major types of energy sources, renewable and non-renewable. And we know there are two types of energy sources. Number one, renewable, and second one is non-renewable. We have to know what is renewable. Renewable means that can be replenished. That means the sources, energy sources, which are unlimited in the earth and which will never finish. That is renewable, and non-renewable means the sources, the energy sources which is limited in the earth and one day it will be finished. and it also create a lot of problem for human beings or animals, that is non-renewable. Hydrocarbon or fossil fuels are non-renewable sources of energy. Among them, hydrocarbon or fossil fuels are examples of non-renewable sources of energy. Reliance on them poses really big problems, and if we depend on them, it will pose real big problems. First, fossil fuels such as oil, coal, gas, etc. are finite energy resources, and the world eventually will run out of them. First problem, fossil fuels such as oil, coal, gas are finite energy resources, and if we heavily depend on them, one day they will run out of the world. Second problem, they will become too expensive in the coming decades and too damaging for the environment to repair. It will become very tough for man to repair it, and its prices will high. Third problem, fossil fuels have direct polluting impacts on Earth environment causing global warming. The third problem is that fossil fuels have direct polluting impact. That means fossil fuels are directly polluting our environment, and it also causes global warming. In contrast, renewable energy sources such as wind and solar energy are constantly and necessarily replenished and never run out. On the other hand, renewable energy sources are constantly and necessarily replenished. That means which will never finish from the earth. It is replenished. It is unlimited and never run out. So within renewable energy sources are very essential for us. Most renewable energy comes either directly or indirectly from the sun. There are a lot of sources of renewable energy, and most of them directly or indirectly related with the heat of the sun. Sunlight or solar energy can be used for heating and lighting, forms for generating electricity, and for other commercial and industrial uses. Sunlight or solar energy can be used. We can use sunlight or solar energy for heating our environment or lighting our house or homes or generating electricity. And for other commercial or industrial uses, we can use these renewable sources of energy. The sun's heat drives the wind, and this wind energy can be captured with wind turbines to produce electricity. The sun's heat drives the wind. That means the rays of the sun drives the wind, and this wind energy can be captured with wind turbines. When the sun's when the sun drives the wind, and this wind energy is captured by turbine to produce electricity, then the wind and the sun's heat cause water to evaporate. When this water vapor turns into rain or snow and flows downhill into rivers or streams, its energy can be captured as hydroelectric energy. And when this vapor turns into rain or snow and flows from downhill into rivers or streams, its energy can be captured by as hydroelectric energy. Along with the rain and snow, sunlight causes plants to grow. Sunlight helps to grow plants. With the rain and snow, plants produce biomass which again be turned into fuels such as firewood, alcohol, etc., identified as bioenergy. And these plants produce biomass which can be turned into fossil fuels, and thus we can use it in firing, and it also produce wood or alcohol, and this kind of energy is called bioenergy. Scientists have identified hydrogen as another form of renewable energy sources. In the scientists of the world have identified hydrogen as one kind of renewable energy sources. It is the most abundant element in nature, which is very common in the nature, available in nature, but it does not exist separately as a gas. But hydrogen, though hydrogen is common in the world or available in the world, but it cannot stay with alone. It stay with mixing with another gas. It is always combined with other elements such as with oxygen to make water, such as especially oxygen. Hydrogen separate hydrogen separated from another element can be burnt as a fuel to produce electricity. Hydrogen separated from another element can be burnt as a fuel to produce electricity, and this when hydrogen is separated from another element, then it can be burned as a fuel to produce electricity. Our Earth's interior contains molten lava. In the bottom of our Earth, it contains molten lava, which gives off extreme heat and which is very heat. This heat inside the Earth produces steam and hot water, which can be tapped as geothermal energy to produce electricity for heating homes, etc. That means, and from this heat, we can capture a kind of energy that is called geothermal energy, which is also used to produce electricity for heating homes. Ocean energy comes from several sources. Ocean's force of tide and wave can be used to produce energy. We know ocean energy also plays a vital role to energy, especially the ocean's forces of tide and wave. Okay, the surface of the ocean comes from several sources, and surface of the ocean comes from several sources. Ocean's force of tide and wave can be used to produce energy, and the ocean force of tide and wave can be used to produce energy. The surface of the ocean gets more heat from the sun than other depths. That means we have known an important information that ocean's surface is comes from different sources, and the heat of the ocean surface and its depth is different. This temperature difference can be used as energy source too, and this difference temperature of the depth and the surface we can use one kinds of energy. Here is a short dialogue. At first, you will read it very attentively, and then you have to take part in a short test. So, read the dialogue. What's solar energy? B. It's one of the renewable energy sources. A. How is called green energy? B. Well, it's called green energy because it helps us keep Earth green. I mean, it does not emit any pollution in the atmosphere when we produce and use it. I see. Then it must be a clean source of energy. B. Exactly. And that's why it's also called clean energy. I hope you have understood the dialogue. Okay? Now it's your turn to take part in a short test. Here is a test for you, right students. You have to fill the gaps. Okay? You will write it in your exercise book and you can also write it in the comment box. I want to see it. So start to write. A. What's wind energy? B. It's one of the. What is the correct answer for the gap? Write it. Okay? Let's see. It's one of the renewable energy sources. That means wind energy is one of the renewable energy sources. A. Why is it called oil? It's green energy because dash. You can take help from the textbook. Okay? Reading the text, you can fill the gap. Why is it called oil? It's green energy because it helps us keep Earth green. And last one, I see. Then it dash source of energy. I see. Then it dash source of energy. Write the correct answer. Okay. Let's see. Then it must be clean source of energy. And there is last question for you. Exactly. And that's why dash clean energy. Write the correct answer. I hope you are brilliant enough to fill the gaps. It's also called clean energy. Now you can make sure what's your answer. Okay. Evaluation, dear students, it's also a one kind of test for you, especially after reading the text you will be able to give the answer of these questions. There are three questions. Number one, what do you mean by renewable energy sources? I hope you have understood what is renewable energy sources. What are renewable energy sources? Number two, what are the problems with non-renewable energy sources? What kinds of problem we will face if we heavily depend on non-renewable energy sources? You have to write it. Number three, what are the major differences between renewable and non-renewable energy sources? What are the major differences between renewable and non-renewable energy sources? That means some points of dissimilarity between renewable and non-renewable energy sources. I hope you will be able to easily write the answers of these questions. Let's see the first question's answer. Renewable energy sources are the energy sources which are constantly and necessarily replenished and never run out. That means we can say in shortly that the which kinds of energy that is unlimited in the world. Okay. Number two, what are the problems with non-renewable energy sources? If we heavily depend on non-renewable energy sources, what kinds of problem we will face? Let's see. The problems with non-renewable energy sources are they are finite energy sources and the world eventually will run out of them. They are costly. It has direct polluting impact on Earth environment causing global warming. I hope you have also written it. Number three, what are the major differences between renewable and non-renewable energy sources? Let's see its answer. The major differences between renewable and non-renewable energy sources are that renewable energy sources are unlimited, it is replenished and it can be renewed, but non-renewable energy sources are not unlimited, it is limited and heavily depends on it will be very dangerous for human beings. Okay, I hope you have understood all the answers of the questions and you have also written the answers of the questions. We have to practice it. Homework. Dear students, here is a homework for you. Be serious for the work. Both South and North Dhaka City Corporation are installing solar panels in place of conventional to illuminate roads in many areas. That means both North Dhaka City and South Dhaka City are trying their level best to set up different solar panels in different places, in different areas. Write a letter to the editor of a daily newspaper appreciating this initiative and saying why this should be followed by other city authorities too. Now it is your turn to write the editor of a daily newspaper appreciating this initiative and saying why it should be followed by other city. That means why you think that the other cities also should follow these initiatives. Okay, we have to write the work, you have to complete the work and you will present it in front of your subject wise teacher or class teacher in a suitable time. You can also write in my comment box. Okay, dear learners, thanks to all. See you again in the next class. Allah Hafiz.